It is becoming more evident that the People's National Party will have to contend with contests for the post of General Secretary and that of Chairman at the month-end meeting of the National Executive Council, which is scheduled for November 29th. Whilst this organization is still struggling to show a united front to the Jamaican electorate, the People's National Party has just concluded a very decisive leadership race, in which they elected the 6th president of the People's National Party. Mark Golding defeated Lisa Hanna by all of 296 votes to become the president of the People's National Party on November 7th, 2020. However, at this time, it seems despite all that they have tried and all of the efforts that they have made, the People's National Party will have to deal with more internal elections, as this is being indicated, as there will be contests for the posts of Chairman and General Secretary when the National Executive Council meets on November 29th. Many persons and even political experts are concerned and were concerned that if they were to have more internal elections so soon, then it would further lead to more divisions and factions within the party. However, these vacancies for the post of Chairman and General Secretary arose when General Secretary Julian Robinson and Chairman Fitzjackson decided to resign following the PNP's massive loss in the September 3rd parliamentary elections. This also influenced the resignation of former leader and opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips. Two prominent party stalwarts of the People's National Party, former General Secretary Paul Burke and former Chairman Robert Pickers-Gill, have issued warnings against these selections for the post of General Secretary and that of Chairman being done in a frivolous manner. It is their opinion that the specific characteristics, qualifications, and skill sets that are required for the post of Chairman and General Secretary are very important. Already, several comrades have signaled their intention to occupy the post of Chairman. This includes the current Vice President, Philip Paulwell. Dr. Angela Brown Burke and Anthony Hilton are also very much interested in the post of Chairman. Philip Paulwell had previously endorsed Lisa Hanna for the post of the President of the People's National Party, and she was defeated by Mark Golding. However, Angela Brown Burke and Anthony Hilton were two prominent persons in Mark Golding's presidential campaign team, and therefore we know that these two persons would have the support from Mark Golding. However, based on statements coming in from Mark Golding, he is in support of Angela Brown Burke for the post of Chairman, and he supports Dayton Campbell for the post of General Secretary. So we are not aware of how much support Philip Paulwell has for his bid to become Chairman of the party. Hilton has soundly declared that he is interested in the post of Chairman of the PNP. However, in 2017, Anthony Hilton was defeated by Fitzjackson. Fitzjackson got 180 votes to Hilton's 79 votes during a meeting of the National Executive Council. The National Executive Council had a meeting in St. Mary in September 2017 in an effort to fill the post of Chairman and General Secretary of the party. The National Executive Council is considered to be the second highest decision-making body outside of the annual conference of the People's National Party. For the post of General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, who is being supported by Mark Golding, is interested in the post of General Secretary. He is a former Member of Parliament for Sennan Northwestern, and another person in the PNP who is keenly interested in the post of General Secretary is Raymond Price. Raymond Price is the former Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeastern. And another individual who is interested in the post is Deputy General Secretary Basil Waite. He is also considering the post of General Secretary. So therefore, at this time, there are all of 3 persons who are considering the post of General Secretary. Dayton Campbell, however, has the full support of Mark Golding. We are not sure how much support Raymond Price would have for this post. And also it should be noted that Basil Waite was a keen supporter of Mark Golding in his presidential bid. However, it seems that Mark Golding has fully declared his endorsement for Dayton Campbell for the post of General Secretary of the People's National Party. Therefore, if Basil Waite, a Deputy Secretary of the PNP, were to be selected as the next General Secretary, it would come as a surprise, despite his support for Mark Golding. So you see, the challenges are many. And of course, it is still evident that this organization is unable to sit and come to a decision on whom will become General Secretary and Chairman without having to go head-to-head with contests at this time. So Raymond Price was in support of the defeated presidential candidate Lisa Hanna, and so was Philip Paulwell. Therefore, there is no way that these 2 persons would be endorsed or supported in any way by Mark Golding. Based on information coming in, however, the newly elected president, Mark Golding, is eager to fill the post of chairman and that of general secretary of the party. He would like to see Angela Brown Burke, who was his campaign director in the recently concluded leadership elections, and Dr. Dayton Campbell, who was his campaign manager, in the post of General Secretary. So it is the wish of Mark Golding to see Dr. Angela Brown Burke as chairman of the party and Dr. Dayton Campbell as the General Secretary of the PNP. And he was expecting that his decision would be supported by the National Executive Council. Information coming in from Paul Burke, however, is that the broader issue at hand is that the political party does not have a proper job description for the role of General Secretary. At the same time, he also mentioned that it was important to select a General Secretary who has the full trust of the President of the People's National Party. The proper thing that the party needs to do is to define the scope of work for a General Secretary during this time. Prior to tendering his resignation as the General Secretary of the PNP had received a shocking defeat at the election polls in 2016. According to Burke, he had moved a motion at the National Executive Council for this to happen, for them to have a job description for the post of General Secretary. He also mentioned that he had asked for an annual evaluation of the post of General Secretary to determine how they were performing, but his motion was never accepted. There are certain political characteristics that you need, of course, but you also need somebody who will put in the time, someone who is prepared to do the work, and someone who has the confidence of the party president. It goes without saying, it is an unwritten rule because the General Secretary protects a party president and can honestly and straightforwardly disagree in a one-to-one. You need that kind of relationship. You need that kind of trust and specifically in a low trust environment as we are currently in with the People's National Party, the trust factor is a major component. Mark Golding recently issued his praises for Dayton Campbell. He described him as a person who has a tremendous capacity for work. He's a hard worker. He is very bright, savvy, and good with numbers. He's a good organizer. He entered politics very young, and some of the brashness of youth may have manifested itself at times. But since he and I have been working closely, I've been mentoring him and I've seen significant maturity and growth emerging. So I'm hoping that the National Executive Council will respect that choice and elect Dayton Campbell as the General Secretary of the PNP. The opinion coming from Pickersgill, however, who has held the post of chairman for 2 decades and which has earned him the title of chairman for life, and is also considered to be a general of the party, was very clear when he stated that the qualities that the next chairman must possess include some very critical skill sets and characteristics. He further stated that in terms of where the party has found itself at the moment, the next chairman must be humble, as he or she will need to play a critical and a significant role independently and in an effort to unite the party and to bring into the fold all supporters and members of the PNP. That would be the first duty, the first priority, the first obligation of the office of chairman. According to Robert Pickersgill, the next chairman of the PNP must be a good listener, and it must be a person who demonstrates patience. Do you agree with the comments coming from Paul Burke and Robert Pickersgill about the qualifications and skill sets that are necessary for the next person who will take over the post of chairman and that of General Secretary of the People's National Party because of their current situation? It is not just a post that will be selected on a whim. A lot of thought needs to be put into this process before the chairman or the General Secretary is selected. The National Executive Council is expected to meet on November 29th to have a discussion and to select persons for the post of General Secretary and Chairman of the PNP. Now, what is your feedback? What is your comment and what is your opinion? Who would you like to see as the next chairman and the next General Secretary of the People's National Party? Are you in support of Dr. Angela Brown Burke? Or are you in support of Philip Paulwell? Or are you in support of Anthony Hilton for the post of chairman of the party? Which of these 3 individuals do you believe will make the best chairman? Which of these 3 persons do you believe has the necessary skill sets, qualifications, and characteristics that have been outlined by former chairman Robert Pickersgill? Do you believe that any of these 3 persons will be good listeners? And do you believe that any of them have demonstrated patience in the past? And do you believe that they will be able to unite the party with their humility? Well, that remains unseen, and we will wait and see to see who they will select for the post of chairman. Now, when it comes to the post of General Secretary, do you agree with Mark Golding that Dayton Campbell is the best person for the job of General Secretary? Or would you like to see Basil Waite in the post of General Secretary? Or are you considering Raymond Price for that post? I am not sure which of these 3 would be best suited, but Dr. Dayton Campbell seems to have the full support of Mark Golding, and therefore, based on what has been stated by Paul Burke, he would be able to openly and candidly have a discussion with Mark Golding about issues that they disagree on. However, what is your opinion? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your feedback down below and let us know what is your opinion on the matters that have been discussed here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.